Welcome back to Edu Steps, powered by Laddering Your Success, where we help you navigate life, learning, and leveling up. I'm your host, Olay Shorunke, and today we're tackling a topic that's been whispered around dorm rooms in high schools for years: the freshman 15. Is it fact or fiction? And more importantly, how can you stay mentally and physically strong as you transition to life after high school? Dr. J and Festus aren't here today. They may be hopping in, but do not worry. We got the one and only Daniel Hill with us. Daniel, how you doing today, brother?
Wonderful. And yourself?
Man, doing good. Enjoyed our trip to Austin yesterday. Had a nice little time to chill, right?
Man, right, man. I'm over here still thinking about that pizza from the brewery. Is that what it's called? That was good.
Yeah, we went to Pine House Pizza. Had some of their pizza there. Good stuff. That whipped cream cheese.
Yeah.
That Dr. J like.
Yeah. Ricotta cheese.
Yeah, ricotta cheese. Ricotta. We eating fancy pizza now. So, first up in our be no do model is the be. Who do we need to be to stay healthy during this transition time? Whether you're headed to college, trade school, the military, or straight into work, your body and mind are adjusting to new routines, new foods, new stress, and new social settings. According to the NIH, students gain an average of 3 to 7 pounds during their first year. So it's not always 15, but it is enough to affect your self-esteem and your health habits. We need to be intentional with how we take care of ourselves and be informed about what's really behind this weight gain. Sometimes it's stress. Sometimes it's lack of sleep. Sometimes it's poor nutrition. Sometimes it's our mental health. And we got to be real. It's not just about weight. It's about your energy, your confidence, your discipline. Who are you becoming in this new chapter, right? So some questions I want to go over with you, Hill, and some questions that I want our listeners to kind of think about are: what should students be in order to stay healthy under that pressure, under that new pressure? So when we talk about values, principles, characteristics, what are some of those values, principles, and characteristics that our young people need to be to stay healthy under pressure?
That's good. They gotta keep their focus, of course, on the Lord. That's one of the main things. And always stay in contact with family. Don't think you can't reach out to people. People are wanting to hear from you, no matter it's just the old one from your church who always come up and just give you a hug or slap you on your head saying, "Baby, how you doing today?" So that's one thing. Find a good community. Matter of fact, find a godly community, because some good people will send you straight to hell. So you need to find some godly community. That's one of the main things. If we want me to go more into about the weight gain, or you want to talk about something else first?
No. Go ahead. Absolutely. Yeah. Talk about that as well.
I think the reason people gain weight is because they're not used to having extra time. So they'll go eat and go back to the room and lay down. They'll go here and lay down. They always go eat. They'll go eat breakfast. Then they go lay down before class. Then they go to class. They go to I can't remember what it's all called, the place where all the people chill. You go there, you eat, you come back, take a nap. Yeah, student center. You have all the time. If you just get up like normal, stay out, take the stairs instead of always taking the elevator. I know it's hard. It depends what school you're at, because some schools you go to, all they have is either, they usually have the cafeteria. I think that's usually free, or it's in your lunch meal. Or they have places like Pizza Hut. You can get your pizza, and most people get the same pizza every day instead of going to the cafeteria where you can go get the cheaper food or get the discount food or get the healthier food. So, and unlike the regular world, they have a free gym where you can go to and work out every day. Even if it's 30,000 people, it's a strong 5 people in the gym. So get up every day, just go out, get your breakfast, treat like a regular life, stay out, go to the gym, work out, take a shower, hang out, then come back home. But just don't go eat and go sleep, eat and go sleep.
Definitely, I totally agree. I think we got to, like, our young people, and when I say young people, I mean adults too. I mean, even the person who's talking right here, we still deal with some of those things. I think discipline. I think just being well-centered in your habits, right? Being assured of yourself, right? So if you know that you respond to like stress, you do a lot of stress eating, try to find other things that aren't as bad, or try to find workarounds to those things you know that you always do. I think this is the time, especially for young people, where you start to really find out a lot about yourself, right? Your study habits. I learned that because of, just struggling with ADHD and stuff like that, that I used to do all-nighters. And man, just even looking back, I didn't realize how unhealthy that was for me. What does that mean? That means I would stay up the day before a test, even if I did study. And sometimes I would study from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I go to McDonald's. I would I go get a McGriddle and some orange juice. And the whole night I'm drinking coffee, so I'm probably snacking throughout the whole night. Wake up, go to McDonald's, get some food, take my test, and go knock out. Like, that is unhealthy. No matter how much you wanna look at it. So even though we're talking about being, know who you are. Like, know your ticks. Know the things that just spike your attention, that it gets you going. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be diligent. You have to be someone who is open to change. And by change, I mean, you have to be flexible in terms of changing those bad habits into good habits. I think those are some of the things that are going to help young people. So let's get into the know, right? We talked about being, the values, the principles, the characteristics that you need to have.
Hey, LYS fam, it's Olay. Just wanted to take a quick break to let you know that even though the cost of college can be daunting, the LYS Scholarship Guide ebook can assist you in realizing your dreams. You can identify and apply for scholarships using the information, advice, and resources in our comprehensive guide. Also, we've provided a template for a successful scholarship essay to help you stand out from the crowd. Don't allow student loan debt to control you. Get your copy of the LYS Scholarship Guide ebook right away to take charge of your destiny. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to that fire conversation.
Let's talk about the know. What's really going on in the freshman 15? Is it a myth? Is it a trend? Is it a warning? We're going to go over a couple more facts here. The American College Health Association reports that over 50%, over half of students struggle with poor dietary habits in their first year. A Harvard Health study found that students who average fewer than 6 hours of sleep per night were more likely to snack excessively and consume sugary beverages. Mental health plays a role as well. The ACHA National College Health Assessment shows that over 60% of students report overwhelming anxiety, which can lead to overeating or skipping meals entirely, right? And one of the things you're probably wanting to talk about, Daniel, is also unlimited cafeteria food, lack of structure, increased alcohol consumption, time spent sitting down, whether you're studying, whether you're gaming, whether you're scrolling. Stress eating is real. Cortisol, the stress hormone that can literally change how your body stores fat and how much you crave salty or sugar foods, is probably going up, probably going haywire during this time. But you're probably not paying much attention to it because your body is still is much more resilient. Students also tend to cut out movement. You talked about the gym. These schools invest so much into these awesome facilities for health, right? But the students aren't really using them. So students tend to cut out movement, not only because they don't want to, but because they don't know how to fit it in their schedule. So, Hill, I want you to talk about you at that time. What were your eating habits in college, and how have they changed now that you've been out of college?
Oh, well, my freshman year. Well, I think I lost because our elevator was always messing up, so we had to take the stairs all the time. So I didn't gain no weight. I think I lost 15 pounds, and people was wondering, "What's wrong with you? You sick?" I was like, "No, elevator, elevator." But it was always they had Burger King and they had Pizza Hut, but they didn't have the cafeteria food. I don't think I really knew about the cafeteria food for some reason because I was always going to get the pizza, but then after a while it gets old, and the burger. That's like right now I don't eat Burger King for nobody, bro. Like I had ate Burger King so much because I didn't like pizza. No, I got the Burger King because I didn't like pizza all the time, so I kept getting Burger King. But then after a while, I found the cafeteria. I was eating pretty good. Now weekends, it was whatever. It was not healthy. But I had homeboys who always wanted to work out or they wanted to play sports. That's why now I don't do all that running stuff. Like, y'all want to play? You want to play? No, I did that in college. They want to play flag football or toss the football around and go play basketball. So that's one thing, you need to get a group of people who are active or doing things and doing stuff you love. So, but my eating habits, they wasn't on campus, they wasn't that bad because after I found about the cafeteria, I was eating healthier, eating better. But you have to make time. So if you want to eat healthy, you got to get up earlier. You might have to go to like the breakfast. You can't just wait because you get there at a certain time, it all might be gone, and you got to take whatever's left, and that's always gonna be the bad stuff. So.
No, definitely, man. I love that. When I was living at home for the first part of college when I was at University of Houston downtown going into Houston Community College. So I had pretty bad eating habits just from, I played football in high school, so I was still eating like I was playing football, but I was not playing football. So, and food had always been a struggle for me. And so by the time I got to a structured place in, at Midwestern State University, where I was like living in a on-campus apartment, it got worse because I had bad habits. I wasn't, working in good habits. So I think I didn't have a freshman 15. I think I had more like I had a freshman 50. A lot of bad habits. I was pretty close to 300 pounds at one point while I was over there in college. And I had summer school, and I said, "Yeah, we gotta do something about this." So I started to do 2-a-days, and that means I would work out at 5 a.m. I played basketball, and I would work out. I had this really cool app on my phone, and it would have all the different exercises that I would do. So I would do that in the morning, and then after I would have school after that, and then I would go to the gym again. There was a lot of intramural things. So I was playing flag football. I was doing volleyball. I was doing basketball. I was doing tennis. I was doing something while working out. So I did morning and night or afternoon workouts. And then I streamlined my diet. My diet was very simple. In the morning, I would have oatmeal with eggs, I think. And then for lunch, I would have a sandwich with chips and fruit. And then for dinner, I would have pasta. I did that every day for a month. I kid you not. I think I lost close to 100 pounds around that time. Mm. And what that taught me keep it simple, stupid, right? I was getting rest while I was in college, so I made time for rest. And I changed my study habits. I studied more after each class. I would just study, right, instead of doing all-nighters. But I still did all-nighters in the fall semester, in the spring semester. It's just, my brain. So, but I learned to study. I learned better study habits. And I learned how to eat properly because I am an overeater, because I am an emotional eater, a stress eater. I learned to find things that can still give me that thing that I'm looking for without all the added calories and sugars and fat and all that stuff. And so that was really beneficial for me. And also just learning about food itself and the benefits of food and different types of food and how it's good to have a diverse array of foods in your diet. So I would say when I'm on it during, while I work, because I drive a lot to a lot of different clients, I like to have food in my car. If I have food in my car, fruit, nuts, all that stuff, it's really well. Getting a lot of water, hydration is really important. So, those are some of the things that I've learned from there. So there's definitely a lot. And the other thing that I want to mention to a lot of our young folks is you may be dealing with trauma, something that you have dealt with when you were younger. It could be the untimely passing of a close friend or family member. It could be something that happened to you when you were younger that you've kind of kept in the back of your brain. It's there, but you don't like to go to that point, but it manifests itself in other ways in your life. This is one of those times where I have to implore you If you are in a community college, a junior college, a university, a college, a trade school, you're working, you're starting a business, you're joining the military, take advantage of the resources that are there for you. When I was in college, I went to the doctor. When I was in college, I used services for getting ready to graduate. I did not use the full gamut of resources that I should have, but I did use some. I want to implore to all the young people, if you hear my voice and you are in some form of, if you either work, military, or you're in a place of higher learning that has resources there to help you, ask someone. HR, student life services, ask someone, what are the things that I'm paying for, right? Because you're paying for them. What are the things that I'm paying for that I can go to help me in these different areas of my life? Because you have to think about it. You are an investment for any place that takes you in, that's giving you a skill, because you are going to go out into the workforce. And remember, if you follow the LYS platform, if you follow the things that we teach here, the better you are, the more skills you attain, and the better you are at those skills, the more money that you will make. So if you are the best and someone says, where did you go to become the best? And you went to a particular school, you are now showing the benefit of that particular school, trade school, university program that you went to gain that degree, to gain that certification, to gain that. So it is in the best interest of that particular organization, university, what have you, to make sure that they're giving you everything that they can possibly give you to make sure that you have the best outcome. So make sure you take advantage of those things. They are definitely there for you. Hey, Festus, we are currently going over the freshman 15 in a be, no, do kind of way right now. So we're talking about the no, and we're talking about knowing the different resources that are out there to help people. I was telling them the story about, I was telling that when I was in college, when I got to Midwestern State, I didn't have a freshman 15. I had more of a freshman 50. I was close to 300 pounds, and I streamlined my diet. I started doing 2-a-days, and how that helped me. And Festus was one of the first people who actually saw me, because he picked me up from the airport. And a lot of people, like Daniel said as well, a lot of people thought I was sick. That's how much weight I lost. So if you have anything to drop in there, Festus, man, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I think, man, one of the most powerful things we can do is take care of our health. As they say, health is wealth. And, you know, the way that you start caring for yourself, especially in those early years, you know, as soon as you graduate high school, as soon as you're getting into college, is key, right? Because you're setting up habits that can make you successful for the rest of your life. Sometimes it's not about, you know, losing the 15, but it's about creating the discipline. You know, it's about creating the habits that keep you healthy and functional. And so I would say the biggest thing, like you said, just take advantage of what's on campus. Take advantage of the fact that, you know, you got healthy meals prepared, you got more meal options on campus. I think those are some things that students could take advantage of.
Absolutely, definitely. All right.
Hey, LYS fam, it's Olay once again. You know, these days, many families are busy but want personalized attention. We at Laddering Your Success understand this dilemma and have created a unique approach to help guide you and your child with personal development tools to build a life of purpose. This intimate approach is helpful for those parents that feel the need to have a focused heart-to-heart conversation deciding on the next steps after high school. We provide individual post-secondary planning, virtual customized college and career counseling, and scholarship guidance and planning. Our one-on-one sessions are tailored to each individual student to maximize their potential in the post-secondary realm. With our guidance, your child will be able to make their dreams a reality. Don't wait. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to business on this podcast.
So let's talk about the do. We talked about the be, what values, principles, characteristics you need to have right? As you're going through the process of going into basically becoming an adult. We talked about the no. Now I just want to give some tips for the do, right? So what steps can you take to avoid the freshman 15 or at least stay in control of your health, right? Build a routine. Wake up, eat, study, and sleep at roughly the same times. Try to build that consistency as you're going through this next level. You know, I love this thing that Festus always says. By the time you get to 18, you're basically on your own, right? You still may be living with your parents. You know, they still may be taking care of you to a certain extent, but you are basically on your own. This whole notion of like thinking that some person is magically going to come and say, here are the answers to life. That person, trust me, is not coming, right? Unless you go to church, right, and you pray to the Lord and you ask Him to, to give you some guidance, right? But for the most part, it's going to be you who's going to have to take that action. By the time you're 21, nobody really cares. Nobody really cares about your problem, right? But oh man, my car's not working. You got a job? You're gonna do something? That's the way it is. And so, I'm not even saying this to give you a rude awakening. I'm saying it because that is what it is. Those are the facts, right? So do one, build a routine. Do number two, move your body. You don't need a gym membership. You got 2 feet, go out and walk, right? Yoga, YouTube workouts, 10-minute dance breaks, right? They say 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week. I do love the fact that sometimes when I go out and ride my bike, I see like young kids, teenagers, they look like they're in high school out there walking the tracks. Just get some sun. As y'all say, go out and touch grass, right? Go out and touch grass. Snack smart. Keep fruit, protein bars, and nuts nearby, right? Stay away from the Snickers. I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to myself. There are definitely a lot of ways to get the same feeling that sweet. If you got a sweet tooth, if you like the crunch, there's a way to get those feelings without having to go in and eating a king size Snickers, right? Make sure you get that sleep intentionally. It truly is a superpower. There's so much that's going on while you sleep that you are not aware of. Sleep is super, super key, especially as you get older, especially as you get married and you start having kids. It becomes that much more valuable, right? Don't be afraid to journal, right? I would recommend starting off as a text message or a voice message and then getting into writing it in. Writing and journaling should be like the end all be all, right? I think it's a super great way to clear your mind and get things off your chest, out of your mind and onto something. And lastly, don't beat yourself up. This is not about being perfect. You're not going to figure it out initially, right? I noticed that for me, sometimes I need to ride my bike. Sometimes sometimes a walk is not enough for me. Sometimes I just have, because I'm just so wound up, I need to do something so strenuous that it calms me down. And I used to try and figure out, like, what's that? Why can't I just go out for a walk? And not even a jog. Like, I need to do something even more. And so I realized that when I'm able to do that, man, it just helps so much more. Everybody's different. Find your thing, stick with it, keep going, right? Remember, the goal is to create habits that serve your body and your mind, not just punish yourself for slipping up, okay? So that is going to be our call for the day. Before I end, I want to open it up for Festus. Festus, if you have anything you wanted to drop in, any final thoughts, some wise words as you always do.
Well, yeah, I definitely think that, in the final analysis, when we're, kind of switching home environments, going to, new institutions, a lot of it's about setting up new habits, right? It's about, choosing new friends, choosing new circles to be around, and that means improving on things that your family may have done or been doing, right? A lot of times where people not like us, their family goes to an institution and their grandpa went to some institution. Usually it's because that institution helps set the family up for success. And so, you're setting yourself up for success, but you're also setting up your family and your community for future success. So look for successful people on campus. You know, if there's a run club, join the run club. If there's a weightlifting club, join the weightlifting club. You know, the whole point isn't just to go to college, but it's to be engaged on campus. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, college isn't necessary. I don't think that's true. I see oftentimes where people or organizations will want to replace something, and then they oddly enough replace that thing with something exactly the same. You know, so they'll be like, oh, I mean, college. Tell you what, let's go ahead and meet up at the library and do talks. And it's like, that kind of sounds like a different version of college, you know, or let's do these masterclass series. Well, we need buildings for the masterclass series. We need library, you know, and then they set up the exact same thing. So sometimes it's not necessarily the structure that's wrong. It's about how we're using it. So I'll kind of end with that. And thanks, Olay, for holding it down in this transition period.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. I mean, growing, it's such an important thing. You know, the thing I mentioned earlier was a lot of times some of these habits that we've gotten are survival skills because that's all we know. We've had to deal with loss. We've had to deal with trauma. And these are, kind of like coping mechanisms. And so this is a great time as you're entering this new phase. Listen to those who have gone through these things. Listen to us. We're not old, but we're old enough, right? This is the time to deal with those things so they don't fester and kind of turn into something else, manifest themselves into something else later on. This is the time to find those people, find your tribe, find the people that are on the same path as you, and grow together, sharpen that iron so you can benefit and you can help the next generation who comes after you. It's much more than a freshman 15. It's dealing with those things that have kind of held you back in your life, this young, early part of your life. So just some things to keep in mind. We love our young people. We're so proud of y'all. Keep up the wonderful work. Just looking forward to the great things that y'all do. All right. For Daniel Hill, Dr. J couldn't be with us this week. He'll be back next week, hopefully. I am Olay Shorunke. Thank you so much for joining us on this latest episode of Edu Steps. Please, young people, our WhatsApp group is on fire. If you need information, if you're hearing our voices, and you would like to join our WhatsApp group where we just go over BNODU, we go over scholarships, we go over just exploration, looking into personal development, whatever you're doing after high school, info@latteringyoursuccess.com. Just send out an email there. Hey, I want to get on the WhatsApp group. We got you. Make sure you subscribe, comment. Don't be afraid to subscribe. Don't really be afraid to comment. Let us know your thoughts. Is there something that we can do better? Is there something you want us to talk about? Let us know. All right. Let's keep those lines of communication open. Keep them open. All right. Thank you so much again. Festus, please give them the phrase that pays, my good.
So listen, there are legitimate excuses for not going to college. There's no legitimate excuse for not getting an education. Listen, if you like what you heard today, hit the like button. If you know somebody who needs to hear this, hit the share button. And if you want to follow us, hit the subscribe button for more details. And we will see you on the next episode.